I think right now I just take it a day at a time, and hopefully the 1,000 will just pop up. I mean, it's not that far away,
Oh, not at
but
all.
but in that same breath, it's like just take it a day at a time because, honestly, once I hit 1,000 days, Mama's gonna call herself the modern day Bruno San Martino. But
What is going on, you guys? Welcome into the Takedown on SI YouTube channel. Rick Ucchino here with another very special guest. You know her, you love her, one of my favorite people to talk to in all of professional wrestling. It's been some time since we talked, so it's nice to get to catch up, and it's a really, really special time because she's got a major project in the works here. So you know her, the forever Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, AEW star, the fallen goddess, Athena. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So first off, I need you to kind of give me the scoop here on Metroplex Wrestling, because as a resident of Cincinnati, Ohio, I'm a little out of the loop when it comes to the independent scene in Texas.
Well, you shouldn't be. I do run a promotion called Metroplex Wrestling. We are the only weekly wrestling show in Texas. The company itself has been going on for about 15 years. I ended up purchasing the company about 4 years ago, and we have been running strong every week since then. I just wanted to give the guys and gals a platform. With having a weekly wrestling show, with having to work with storylines, and on top of that, running training myself on top of everything else with the chaos there. But I just wanted a nice positive atmosphere for all my kids.
I was gonna say, like, how much went into that decision to just purchase a wrestling promotion? Because that's not something you do on a whim, obviously.
Um, it was a lot. It was kind of like a surprise opportunity that popped up. I had just gotten let go from WWE, and me and my husband were just like in that mindset of what are we going to do? What's going to be fun, you know? And at that time, I wasn't like super in love with wrestling. I wanted to be around it. I loved coaching. And Metroplex Wrestling, the previous owner, was a very good friend of mine. We actually played Dungeons and Dragons together. Yes, we're all nerds. But he ended up wanting to go and enjoy his kid's life through high school. You know, he has an older daughter, he has an older son, and he felt like he had owned that company for so long that he missed out. And he was doing like the honorable thing, you know. He was like, I think it's time that I go and I want to sell this place. I'll part out everything. And I was like, wait, hold on. You're gonna sell this? And you know, because I was working for him as a coach for a little bit as well. And I was like, wait, you're gonna sell the place? And I was like, hold on. So me, my husband, and then the Pruitts, as I like to call them, that is their name. I don't know why I say it like that. The Pruitts, who were longtime MPX fans, we all kind of came together and we purchased the company so it could keep going. You know, that's basically long of the story.
So now you're kind of like taking this here to the next step. You announced this week who runs the world, August 9th. This is going to be the first of a weekly all women's wrestling show. This is obviously something you have to be very excited about, but also equally nervous.
I am, but let me clarify. It's not weekly. Um,
Okay.
we're trying to get to a position where we can run those weekly shows, and we honestly know that that is the goal down the road. Don't know how long it'll take, but that is the goal. So right now we're going to start with our first show on August 9th, the next show in October, and then go to a monthly format after that. We're looking at trying to get bigger venues outside of the building that we actually own because we do have limited seating. So when the tickets do go on sale, it will be limited seating. So it's first come, first serve when it comes to that. But my goal is to give a platform to women around the world, but mostly in Texas. We get to travel all over the place, and hardly anyone in Texas has worked every woman in Texas. There's like 30 women here. And because Texas is so big, you have girls in San Antonio, you have women in West Texas and El Paso, you have women in Dallas that haven't even touched, that haven't even met before. And there's a whole bunch of dream matches in the effort.
So like what is the you say you want the part of the goal is to get to the weekly
Yes.
every week. What's the pipe dream? What's the ultimate goal here that you're trying to build toward?
My ultimate pipe dream is to give women a platform on an independent level where they can showcase their skills and tell their stories. If I learned anything from being in WWE, AEW is learning how hard that people work and you want their hard work to pay off. And giving these women a platform because they have put in the hard work. They have put in your stereotypical blood, sweat, and tears, but it's so much more than that. Just giving them a platform to tell their story for the world to get to know them before they get to an AEW, before they get to a WWE, before they get to a Ring of Honor, though I will squash them like a bug. That is my ultimate goal, but not just giving them like small platforms. I want to give them a big platform. My ultimate goal is to run a 1,500 person building based off of women's wrestling on an independent level.
You called this a passion project of yours when you made your official announcement. What fuels that passion, and what makes now the right time to do something like this?
I remember when I first started in wrestling, and I was 18 years old, had no clue how the world worked. And I had a whole bunch of guys that helped me throughout my career and kind of eased me into the wrestling world. But for my first year and a half, I didn't work anyone but men. And I love those guys. They made me the wrestler I am today. So that's not a knock on them. But like, man, the first time I wrestled a woman, I believe it was this woman named Claudia in Dallas. Then it was Jessica James. And I wrestled those two women for almost 4 years nonstop in Texas. And then I found out there was a woman named Claudia Del Solis. And then there was another woman by the name of Rachel Summerlin. And like then like slowly this bubble was cracking open about like how many women were actually in the state of Texas. For me, I just want everyone to get along and have a awesome community, an amazing support team of women supporting women. We talk about it, I guess, on a professional standpoint, that we don't have a lot of women in different positions in wrestling. This is my step to go there, to be maybe a foothold as an owner, as a promoter. I have been running weekly, but take a step forward and put kind of my heart on the platter, because women's wrestling, maybe it's because of my bias and I do that type of thing. But my goal is to give these women a platform so the world can get to know them and get to know them and love them, because I feel like there's just been a big hole missing since Shimmer went on a hiatus, since Mission Pro went on a hiatus. And occasionally the women's show will pop up and it'll be a girls' night only. And we'll see it once or twice, and then a ladies' night out, and we never see them again. So to give these women a regular platform where they continue to hone in their skills, where they get to work with women like myself and women that are on TV, women that used to be on TV, legends, giving them a platform to get to learn in a new environment that is ultimately preaching community and positivity. That's the goal.
You've announced a pretty good collection of talent for this first show. Big fan of Bert Vixen, who's going to be on the
Yeah.
what's just kind of talk a little bit about who's going to be on there and what made them the right fit for this first show.
I wanted the first announcement to be a bang of Texas heavy hitters. Like everyone on the flyer, with the exception of Masha Slamovich, who is amazing in her own right, is a hard hitter from Texas, as I like to say, or they reside here. I think I prided myself on building this first card to build the first matches, if you will, with most of the women being from Texas, with only 2 or 3. I do have a surprise, being from out of state, but everyone, most of the roster is from Texas. And that is something that I'm priding myself on. Like I had to have Masha. I love Masha to death. She's such, a amazing athlete. She's a little crazy, but she's going to give you 1,000%. Vert Vixen, like, man, just amazing, amazing woman. High end, traveled all around the world, including Vert too. And then we have Abaddon, who like, absolutely amazing as well. I've worked with them before. They have so much heart and passion for what we do, but all my heavy hitters, for the announcement, like all reside in Texas, and I'm very excited to be able to give them that platform.
It's also really cool to see, Masha on the show, and the fact that it's kind of become the norm now in professional wrestling. Like, you can see people from other companies like pop up all these other different places. It's nice. That's kind of been, it's kind of become the norm now.
It's really cool because to me, it's like paying it forward, right? Like we have a whole bunch of knowledge to share with that generation because of where we worked. We worked on TV. We work some of the best talent around the world because of like, especially with me and ROH. I get to work Alex Windsor and Miyu Yamashita and Emi Sakura. And then I get to go to Japan and work with Team Hate. You know, I bring back so much knowledge, and my goal is to give these women that knowledge. So when that opportunity comes, they will be fully prepared, if not uh exceeding all expectations.
So that being said, you are still an active competitor. So how difficult is it balancing and owning and running your own promotion and then doing what you have to do in
Um,
AEW and Ring of Honor and all that good stuff?
I will say this, it's extremely stressful. I think a lot of people wonder why I stopped streaming. It's because I bought a wrestling company. And now I'm just immersed in the world of wrestling.
There's only 24 hours a day, folks.
Yeah, I mean, so like if this gives you any indication on how my week goes, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I run the training school from 5 to maybe 10 p.m. Monday through Wednesday. Thursdays, we sometimes do open ring, spontaneous student shows, but sometimes on Wednesdays, I have to go to work. So Wednesday morning, I'll fly out. I'll do that gym, and if we don't have a class Wednesday, I try to do a class Thursday. So I get off the plane, maybe sleep 4 or 5 hours, and then run open ring. And then if I don't go Wednesday, that means I'm at the school all week. And then Friday, I'm prepping to go to work. So like I always say, like Thursday is my first day off normally in the week. Because on top of that, if I'm at the school, I normally have Dynamite playing in the background at the school. Wednesday actually used to be my D&D night till it became school night. So my entire team is pissed at me. But like I'm my first day off of the week is normally Thursday. And I say my weekdays start on Friday because I'm packing a bag, I'm doing all the laundry. Saturday, I'm taking flight into the air, going wherever in the world, doing all that jazz, all the chaos, coming back Sunday to the rehabilitation day or the I'm so sore from wrestling day. Into Monday, which is nothing but doing the school stuff, Tuesday school stuff, Wednesday school stuff, and then Thursday is my first day off.
So first off, I now have a better appreciation for my own schedule because I thought I had it bad. But like, just I'm wondering, are you like me where on the rare chance that you get the opportunity to sit down and do nothing, which is like something that like you're pining for, and then 15 minutes into it, your brain's like, you should be working, you should be doing something else right now, you should
So
be productive
I
with your
I
time.
feel I feel like even when I'm not working, I'm working on something. Like I know that that sounds weird because like even then, like Saturdays are when we run our shows. So if I'm at Collision, I'm also handling texts back and forth from wherever I am in the world to Texas to make okay, this girl canceled, so we gotta get a replacement. Now I'm texting people while like I'm also like, okay, who am I wrestling on ROH tonight? Okay, that's fine. Billy, come, we have to yell at someone, you know? So I am pulled in 1,000 different directions, I think, every day of my life. And I love it. I love the chaos. I love the busyness about it. It keeps me sane on a weird level to know that I have a lot of people relying on me. It puts a lot of pressure on me as well. Um, but I think like on the times where I am just like chilling out on the couch, I'm normally like, well, I guess I got to crank through about 2 hours of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I got to do that. So like, even like though I'm sitting on the couch relaxing, I'm like, well, I got to get through this mission because I gave myself 2 hours before I have to take 8 phone calls today.
Yeah, I actually like sat down and watched a movie for like the first time in like 3 months this past weekend, and it was like awesome. It was
Awesome.
great. And I'm like, oh, finally, I'm gonna get to watch Nosferatu. Let's go. So,
Oh,
oh,
good.
oh,
Good.
so good, so good. Now, you've worked under obviously a number of different promoters over the years. Is there anything in particular that you picked up during that time frame that you try to utilize for your shows, or maybe something on the opposite end of the spectrum where like something that you try to make sure that you never do?
Um, I feel like that's a hard question to ask. I think the thing mostly learned about being a promoter myself and learning from promoters that I've worked with on every level is just taking risk on people that are trying to hone their craft. right? Like taking a risk and kind of extending that hand out to pick them up. I remember being on the independent scene and not having really a lot going for me. I didn't get to do NWAs. They were booked solid. Like ACW had every amazing woman in the world at that time, Anarchy Championship Wrestling. And I was just trying to like just go anywhere. And I remember just sending like emails out to people and like with the VHS tape, mailing that off, be like, look, just take a risk on me. Like, please, I'm a hard worker. I'm this, I'm that. Please, please, please just take a risk. Please, please. I'll find my way up there. I'll drive, and just I think the thing I love the most is just the generosity of promoters willing to take a risk so early on in my career. And John Thorne from AIW was one of the first ones. Lamont, uh, Lou Starrett was another one at that time. Dave Prazak. Um, and these people and Danny Davis from AEW at the time too. They all took a risk on me and they saw something special in me and they would always extend a helping hand. And that's something that I really loved and I want to kind of push forward. I know it's easier said than done because when I was wrestling, I feel like there were maybe like 50 to 75 women's wrestlers in the whole United States. And because of the evolution of women's wrestling, the revolution, if you will, I feel like that number has like exceeded expectations. And I don't even think I can put a number on it. So my goal is to take a risk on people that you probably haven't seen before, that you're not familiar with, and give them an opportunity to shine.
Yeah, no, and I love that. And you're right. It seems like, you know, every week there's some new women's wrestler that, comes out of the woodwork that I haven't seen before. And I'm like, oh damn, okay, here's another one I gotta start, paying attention to and falling in love with. Because I've always been a big fan of women's wrestling. And I love the fact that it's, I've been able to pretty much since I got into the actual business of covering wrestling, it's been like the perfect time for me personally, because that's been the whole boom of women's wrestling with as like yourself and Mercedes obviously being a huge part of that, which allows me to pivot. If I can just give a chef's kiss here to a moment here for your match with Mercedes in the Owen Hart Women's Tournament. That was actually on a really rough travel day for me. Like I had just gotten into Las Vegas and I'm sitting at my hotel bar that I can't even like check in yet because my check-in time wasn't there yet. And I'm sitting there on my phone, my little dinky ass phone, like watching this match, like glued in this loud ass bar around me, just fixated on this matchup, making sure that I watched this because it was truly a dream matchup for a lot of people like myself. Um, you know, After it was all said and done, how did you feel about how everything went down between yourself and Mercedes?
Um, I think I was pissed because I lost and I don't like losing. No, it took me like a few days to kind of process like everything. I know that sounds weird. I think because I'm always on the hustle and the bustle with everything, it's very hard for me sometimes to just sit back and enjoy like what I put on a platter. And I remember like I brought my husband with me when we found out the match was happening in Boston. And he was just like, that was amazing, babe. And I was like, yeah, was it? Was it good? Was it good? Like, because I always go through this period after matches, and anyone that is very close to me will tell you this is that I will immediately start going through. It's like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done this. And that was the first match where I kind of just sat in the hotel room and I was like, I don't I don't know. Should I have And I mean, I was just like, it'll come to me what I should do. And then I watched the match and I just remember like having a tear come to my eye. And I don't really get too emotional. There's been a few times that I've cried. My most recent was Japan, but I wanted it so bad. But like I was just kind of swelling with pride because it just was magic for me. It was like I found a true equal in the ring to me on every level who countered my chaos and I angered her saneness. I know that doesn't make sense, but it was just one of those moments that I was really proud on in my career. And I haven't had one of those in a very long time. It was magic. It was amazing. It's so hard to like pinpoint it because even then it's like it left me wanting so much more. It left me wanting to do a full storyline with Mercedes Monet. I feel like I hold myself on such a high pedestal because I feel like I always have people depending on me, down from my indie company down to my ROH locker room. We put our hearts on a platter, and I felt like in that moment, like I was proud of myself. I was proud of everyone that I have to like hold on my back to like keep sane, to keep relevant, to keep happy, to keep working hard. And it just kind of felt in that moment that all of it was like worth it, of just all the chaos, all of the everything, all the hard work just boiling down to a moment where at the beginning of a match, we just stood there and the fans were chanting, "This is awesome. Athena, Mercedes, holy shit." Sorry, you can bleep that out later.
Oh,
But
it's fine.
like it was just one of those moments that I felt so comfortable, and I was like, this is my element. And I remember the last time I had that feeling was when I wrestled Oscar at at our second match, and I got booed out of the building. And I just remember like turning and like giving a smirk to the crowd, like, watch this motherfuckers, you know. Um and that was kind of one of those moments, like, I think I just kind of saw myself having fun and enjoying, like, the art of pro wrestling and the art of the crowd, and AEW has been so amazing in allowing me to have those moments here, from main eventing the first ever women's, main eventing the first ever pay-per-view, with 2 women, with Willow, under the Tony Khan banner, all the way to main eventing Hammerstein. I've been blessed to have so many of these moments where I can look back and I can smile and I can say, wow, this is freaking awesome. Like, that doesn't mean I don't want more, but like, it, the Mercedes match will live on to my heart as a lot of what ifs. Like, what if I would have changed this tiny little thing? What if I would have expected her to cheat? Like, what if, like, I have a lot of what ifs with that match. But it's all out of positivity, um, and hopefulness that I will get another.
I was gonna say, because like as much as the Double or Nothing match with Jamie Hayter was an absolute banger, I was sad, borderline pissed that Jamie lost that match, because I was still clinging to hope that we would be getting Athena Mercedes 2 at All In Texas.
You and me both. I was up here like, come on, Jamie, just hit her. Just hit her hard. Hit her with the haterade, girl. I'm sitting at home with my cat, just like, come on, just hit her. Just hit her. Maybe this is an option. I mean, look, there's still time before All In, for me to be on the roster. I don't know if that's in my stars for me. If not, I have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view that I will probably be defending my championship on, you know? I would probably be super bummed out if I wasn't on All In, but like, honestly, there's still time. And at the same time, I still have a whole brand that I have to keep on my back,
I was
you
gonna
know,
say,
and
do I have to call Tony Khan? Like, I don't have his number, but I'll call the Jacksonville Jaguars headquarters if it helps. I'll ring in endlessly until I get a hold of him or they forward me an
no,
email or something.
hey, that's the beauty of pro wrestling, right? You got to watch and see what happens.
Well, I'm going to be watching. I appreciate the time as always. Good luck with everything, with the new show and running your business. And by the way, congratulations, 900 days as Ring of Honor
Yes.
Women's Champion. I mean, that is, just real quick here, that is ridiculous territory. I mean, there's only been what, a handful, maybe a two handfuls of people who have ever hit 4 digits in any title reign ever, and you're closing in on that.
Fingers
What does that
crossed.
mean to you?
I never thought it would happen, to be honest with you. I think right now I just take it a day at a time, and hopefully the 1,000 will just pop up. I mean, it's not that far away,
Oh, not at
but
all.
like, but in that same breath, it's like, just take it a day at a time, because like, honestly, like, once I hit 1,000 days, mama's gonna call herself the modern day Bruno San Martino. But no, but in all seriousness, like, I say it, like, I've had an amazing title reign because of all the amazing porcelain hussies that I've had to crush along the way. The women that I got to tell stories with that made me who I am today, I'm very appreciative of their decrepit bodies that I have left in my wake behind me. You can kind of see a couple of them, like arms, like just broken and cracked. But in all seriousness, I'm just immensely thankful to having the platform like ROH, having an amazing roster within the ROH women's division, and the occasional AEW hussy that wants to cross over and get get broken too. Um, but I'm very thankful for everything in my career right now, and it's only helped build me up, and it has given me a different drive and a different passion that I don't think people really understand. As far as I worked so hard when I was younger to get into Ring of Honor. Like that was like the yo, you got to get to Ring of Honor if you're good. Once you get there, you're good. And so I worked so hard to get there, and I was a part of the traveling roster for like maybe a year when they had the women's showcases here and there. And to see how prominent the women's wrestling is on the ROH banner right now is like it swells me with pride. And every time everyone comes to work, we all put our hearts out there for you guys.
You have such a way with words, and I absolutely love it. And by the way, the only thing I see behind you
I
is that
try.
Mario Brothers 3 poster that I am
Oh,
uber
this one?
jealous of. Oh my
This
god.
one?
Oh, that takes me back.
It's so good. It's one of my favorite ones. So
Oh, for
I got a
sure.
little bit of everything back here on this wall. So I'm a resident nerd and all that chaos too.
I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for the time as always. These chats are always a blast. I'm looking forward to the next one already.
Awesome. Thank you, Rick.